All right, welcome back to another episode of Hot Ones with the Sub Board of Directors. I'm your host, as always, your outreach chair, Baylun Tucker. Today, I have with me our light and sound director, Eli. So we're going to be answering some of your questions. Starting off, go ahead and introduce yourself. What year are you in school, your major, a little bit about what you do on the board.
So I am Eli Bird, the light and sound director, as you mentioned. I'm a senior studying computer science, and I coordinate all of the technical aspects of events put on by Sub, but also other RSOs can reach out for our services, and we help other RSOs on campus put on their events too.
All right, let's go ahead and get to the first one. This is our garlic habanero sauce to start off. Cheers. So, you said you manage the technical aspect of Sub and other RSOs here on campus. What does that look like? What can be kind of the process of setting up some kind of major production?
So it all depends on based on what the event is requiring. So, for instance, 2 weekends ago we had a concert on campus, and so we set up 24 stage decks for the bands to perform on, and then truss for hanging lights and sound equipment, and that's a full setup where we use basically our entire equipment inventory, while other events it might just be 2 speakers and a microphone. And so it all depends on the event and what the event is going to need.
Yeah. All right, we'll go ahead and get into our next one. This is the lift-off karma sauce. All right. Cheers. So when it comes to working with some of the other RSOs, what do you find yourself doing, and who do you find yourself working with pretty often?
Can you repeat that?
When you're working with some of the other RSOs, who do you find yourself working with, and what do you find yourself doing while you're working with them?
So some of our frequent organizations we work with are KMNR, Pat's Board, IFC, and random other orgs on campus. So basically, they fill out a form on our website through MinerLink, and then from there, I ask more questions about what their event is going to entail, and then from there, I basically take on a technical director standpoint on the event, where I am there as a technical liaison for the event, making sure that it runs smoothly and meets their expectations while also benefiting our org by getting our name out there too.
Yeah, so there's actually a KMNR production coming up soon, right?
Mm-hmm.
One with SIGAP. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
So that is October 25th. We will be building a stage out on the Innovation Lab lawn. We'll be putting on a full concert that evening, large scale event.
All right. All right, we'll get into our next one here. Number 3, it's our pickled garlic sriracha sauce. All right, there we go. So, I guess tell me a little bit more about how the labor works as well with light and sound. Obviously you're in more of a director role, so you have people working with you, helping set things up. How does that kind of work?
So we have an open application form on our website practically year round for people to actually be employed and have this as an on-campus job. So people that are interested in helping with technical productions on campus can reach out and show their interest, and we can get them on board, and they can help put on these events by having a job on campus, having fun with technical equipment, putting on big productions, and just having a fun experience.
Is that kind of how you got started with it? Was working in production and then moving towards the director role?
Yeah, actually, my freshman year during O Week, I one of the I don't remember what the event was called, but basically there were a bunch of orgs set up at the Puck, and Sub was there, and I talked to Nolan. He was the light and sound director at the time, and I applied, and I've up until I became light and sound director last October, I was on their tech crew since my freshman year.
Okay. All right, we'll get into our next one here. Oh, number 4, right here. Okay. Cheers. That one's my favorite. That one's got a lot of lime to it.
Mm-hmm.
So
One of
outside
the
of
better
sub,
flavors.
yeah, that one's one of the better ones for sure. So outside of sub, what else do you do on campus? What other orgs are you part of? Design teams, RSOs, anything like that.
So outside of sub, I am fairly actively involved in the Mars Rover design team. I've been involved since my freshman year also. Part of the software team. I've advanced through their leadership structure all the way up to the executive board, back down to some software positions, and then this year I'm kind of just there as a software resource where I have time helping train the new members, letting other people that are newer to the team have that leadership experience.
Were you at the competition with the recent win?
I was not. I went the year before, but it was still a very exciting summer.
Yeah. You also work with the Leeds Theater crew too sometimes.
Yes,
with some of their productions.
Yeah, I'm very actively involved there too.
All right. So we'll get into our next one here. This is the Rojo sauce. This is where we're going to start getting into a little bit more, some real heat. All right. Cheers. So a lot of the people I've already talked to on the board of directors are, sophomores, a little bit more early in their college career. Now it's you're towards the end of it. What's next? What do you think about what's coming next, or what you're going to do over your next semester during your grad senior?
So I'm looking for full-time positions. The job market for my degree is not the best at the moment, so it's kind of a pain to find a job, but looking for opportunities, trying to be as involved as possible on campus my last few semesters. So
yeah, how does your last semester look? Any free time to kind of dedicate towards the things you like to do, not class wise? That's what I found myself with this semester. I'm only in like 12 credit hours, so it's really nice being able to focus on doing this kind of stuff and bouncing around and not having to be a full-time student, even though I am. I'm a little less focused on it.
I'm gonna have a fairly typical semester for me, around the same number of credit hours, but definitely plenty of time for things like sub, leech, and rover.
All right. So we got our next one now. It's our volcano sauce, number 6. This guy right here. Okay. So with graduation coming up fairly soon, you're going to need a replacement, someone to step into your role. What would you kind of say towards people who are interested in maybe stepping up to a really big production level role, getting really involved on campus?
Definitely make sure that you are on top of your calendar. Everybody on sub knows that I keep a very, very well organized calendar. Having lots of time management skills is the only way to do something this big, because you have to balance your classes and putting on these major productions on campus that come at random times.
Yeah, I guess with that, like, how do you find your kind of schedule typically working whenever you know that there's going to be something big coming up? Are you still ready to, like, if something smaller comes up that just needs a speaker or two, are you ready to still jump on that, assuming people ask for equipment in time and things like that?
Yeah, I try to make it so that I am available for those relatively last minute requests. We ask for people to reach out at least a month, 2 weeks to a month in advance, just so we can get you on the schedule and make sure that we have all of our questions asked before the event gets here. But for the most part, I just make sure that I'm on top of my homework. I spend basically any time outside of class that I'm not busy working on studying of some sort.
Yeah.
And so,
All right, we got our next one here, number 7. This is the Butterfly Bakery hot house sauce. This is where we're starting to, like, really get stepped up. Cheers. Okay, take a second, but it could share. It could share pretty fast when it starts. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna flip it a little bit or see if you have any questions for me on the interviewing side.
what's your favorite thing that you've done on sub while you've been here?
Probably this right here. This is quite a lot of fun. I get to see all my friends struggle and go through it a little bit while I'm also going through it. It's a good time. It really is. So if you're interested in being an outreach director, let me know. I graduate. But it is. This has been a lot of fun. I've been looking forward to this for quite a while. But I've done recruitment for a lot of different orgs on campus. I've done it or I did it for Beta Sigma Psi. I am a student ambassador. I did publicity, and now I'm president of the Lutheran Student Fellowship. So, like, kind of just talking to people, being around, being the face of an org. I like that kind of stuff. It's super fun, and it really shows you all the different parts of campus. All right, we're going to step up into our next one, the bomb. I like showing whoever I'm with that, and the nice little warning on the back. That's exciting. All right, here's number 8. Yeah, need a second on that one. So we're about to hit midterms. What does kind of the rest of the semester look like for production wise? We've got that Cam and North SIGAP concert coming up. What else are you working on towards the end of the semester?
That's honestly our last big event for the semester. We have a few random smaller events that are scattered throughout, but for the most part, there's not anything big at this point.
So doing some planning for next semester, or waiting towards a little bit closer to the
end? I'm starting to getting planned for Pat's. That concert is massive and takes a lot of production effort. So.
Oh yeah. All right. Got number 9 now. Sicilian Scorpion. All right. There we go. Man, you are stone cold right now. I'm starting to get a little hot here. I'm starting to sweat. Oh man. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I need a second on that one. That last one was hot. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and get into our last one here. And before we do, this one is the last dab. This one is intense. Before we get into this one, though, what do you think? Do not put that much. What would you say the mission statement of Sub is? Kind of our goal and drive as an organization. We'll take a bite first before you answer. Yeah,
Okay.
take a second to think about it. All right.
Sub's mission is to put on fun, free events for students. Bring them out of their dorms or housing, get them away from studying, and just have something fun to do on campus.
Man, you're so locked in. I'm not. That last one kind of got me. Oh. Yeah. Sub's goal is always just have fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, get out, have fun, do something on campus, and have a good time.
Yeah.
Production, could we get a alleviation? Thank you. All right. So that will bring this episode of Hot Ones with the Sub-Directors to a close. As always, I've been your host, Baylun Tucker, the Outreach Director, and I have with me today Eli, our Light and Sound Director. See you guys in the next one.